In my opinion, in the next few years, by the time we reach 2020, in the not too distant future, implantable RFID chips will no longer be optional. And what I mean by that is that in order to interact and participate in the world, the new technological world, in a meaningful way, you'll have to be chipped. You'll have to take the mark. Largely, we can argue you're already carrying the RFID chip via your cell phone. And most of the mass of humanity is doing it by choice. And that's what's amazing about man. We've literally accepted our own enslavement. There's a very interesting book by futurist and transhumanist Ray Kurzweil, who was recently hired by Google as a part of their team that is working on all these types of chips. Whether or not these are neural implants planted into your brain that will give you access to the internet and access to more and more information instead of having to, ask your cell phone, Siri, find XYZ, or call Bob, you'll be able to do it just by thinking with a neural implant. You think about it from a casual use standpoint. If you're walking into an elevator at your building, or let's say you're trying to open a door in your hotel room or start your car, these chips, at least the way they'll be sold to you, will be a huge advantage in seamlessly integrating with your real life. It will also give you transhuman abilities from the perspective that those with the chip, and again, all of you will need it in order to interact in the world in a meaningful way, much like you need a cell phone today. Without it, you really can't interact meaningfully. Business or personally, you'd be considered an outcast and probably a homeless person, whacked out on his mind on the street. And I always think about that. I always think about how homeless people actually might be more cognizant of the truth than many of us think. But all of this is reaching a breaking point in the not too distant future, in just a few years. Ray Kurzweil himself says that by 2020, 2025, we will reach a singularity. In his book, which I encourage you to read, The Singularity is Near, he argues that at that point there will be a full merger between technology and the biological human. And those that don't take the chip, don't take the mark, will be a servile, lower rank of society, soon to be extinct. Just like many of these people believe that we started from chimpanzees and worked our way up to, I guess, what they think is self-important today, although in a lot of regards we haven't really come too far. I'm really interested to hear about what you think. Will you take the chip? What will be your option in a society where you will not be able to interact meaningfully without taking it? All of this is spoken prophecy. Many of you that are familiar with your Bible realize that this is all a part of the satanic plan of moving civilization forward. And again, human beings, mostly operating day to day in fear, as fear beings, again, are very accepting of their own enslavement. That's kind of the beauty of it from the standpoint of the New World Order, is that the people actually accept their own slavery. They don't just accept it, they're going to pay for it with the newest, latest gadget. Whether or not it's Google Glass, or it's soon to be the neural implants or the contact lenses that will give you the eyesight of a hawk, and these devices that will gain and give you access to an entirely different world. We're going to get to a point, as Ray Kurzweil says, that the man is going to create a machine that can build another machine. And once the singularity is met, once we hit that crux, machines will actually have a higher AI in intelligence than humans. And at that point, they'll begin to replicate themselves. And again, those without the chip that have not merged in the singularity with these devices and essentially become their own gods will be left dust till dust. This is the evolution of humanity, in their opinion. And they're going to sell you on all the fantastic, great ideas, the fact that they will be able to reverse the aging process, solve mathematical, theoretical, and physical problems in the real world, like curing cancer, etc. They're going to sell all that to you as the selling point, as the reason, and the belief that they can become their own gods. That essentially, death will be a choice, according to the words of Ray Kurzweil.